morning, this is Greg the Window Doctor. Good to see you again today. Last week we talked about some of the different terms that are used in the window industry to help you understand the basic efficiency of the windows. With solar heat gain, U factor, visible light transmittance. Sometimes you'll see another term, DP, talking about design pressure, which is not really important in our particular area. If you were living on the coast and you had to worry about hurricane winds, then you need a much higher DP rating, probably 50 or above. But in our markets, it's typically around 30. What we're going to look at today is the different kind of windows that are available on the market. For years and years and years, wood windows was the standard window that you would basically have in your house. And it would function pretty well, especially up north. Well, what are some of the things we know about wood windows? A builder grade wood window is normally a paintable grade wood, and it has to be wood outside and wood inside, which means you're going to obviously have to keep it painted to protect that wood, and have it painted typically on the inside. And if it's painted and taken good care of, it can function pretty well. Then they came along in the 50s with steel casement windows. Now, many of you aren't old enough to even remember steel casement windows, but they're windows that would crank out and crank closed and made out of steel. Now, the problem, of course, with those is that if you didn't keep them painted all the time, they would what? Rust. Absolutely. They were really heavy and a real challenge to put in and out. So steel casement kind of went by the wayside in the 60s and early 70s when aluminum windows came out. And after the Vietnam War, and we quit making all the airplanes that we needed over there, we needed a place to use that aluminum that were being manufactured, so we're going to make them into windows now. And aluminum windows have been around now for 30 or 40 years. Some of the things we like about aluminum is what? It doesn't rust, and it's lightweight. Some of the things we hate about them, though, is what? They're highly conductive. Now, in the 60s, we really didn't care about that, did we? Gas was still down there, what, in the 25 or 30 cents a gallon? Nowadays, it's almost going to be $3 to $4 a gallon. Your utility bills, instead of being $50 a month, are now $300 or $400 a month, or much higher. So that's something that we want to keep in mind. So let's look at some of the windows we have other than steel or in that situation. Now, wood still has a place in the marketplace today. Here's a nice looking wood window. A number of manufacturers make them. Anderson, Peachtree, Pella. This one happens to be made by Peachtree. Typically you'll see these on high-end homes. And that's because they want the look of real wood on the inside, and maybe because of homeowners association, maybe they're required to have wood on the outside. What you'll find though in this particular window, to make it maintenance-free on the outside, it's actually aluminum clad, which is great. It can come in a variety of different colors. So you can have that nice, warm, rich look on the inside of wood, and you can stain it to a variety of colors, or on the outside you can go with a number of different things like different colors on an aluminum clad window. The next window we want to look at is a vinyl window. And of course, vinyl window is probably the most popular window that we have in the marketplace today. Okay? And here we see one right here. And in this particular window here, we'll notice that it is what we call a double hung, double tilt-in window where both sashes operate, which is a tremendous advantage if you have a two-story house and you want to be able to access and clean your windows from the inside. The other option would be to have a single hung window. This window is fixed on top, and only the bottom window opens on the bottom. So those are your choices on the market today. We'll look into more detail about the glass, because remember, the vinyl is only 15% of your opening. 85% of that is glass, and we'll look at that in our next session. This is Greg the Window Doctor, signing off.